Hi there. Today I'm going to show you how to do scheduled CSV and XLSX file exports for a Notion database on a schedule. So a lot of people want to use Notion as their source of truth. They want to, manage all their data in Notion and, have that data go somewhere else. Maybe they want a CSV file sent to FTP or emailed to somebody or uploaded to Google Drive or Dropbox, maybe as a backup, or they need to send it as an order for somebody. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start in Notion. This is a Notion database. It's its own page. You can have a Notion database embedded in a page. And it has many columns, many different types of data. And we're going to export this as a CSV every day using EasyCSV. So we'll go over to EasyCSV, create your account, you'll land here, and this is kind of the setup flow. You can set it up by dragging an example CSV file here. So you can go up here to export, and when you export, you'll get a zip file that has a markdown file and a CSV file in it. Export, unzip the file, grab the CSV file, and you can drag that here and get it set up. What I like to do is I'll just type one column name. So I'll just click on type column names. I'm just going to say name, that's the first column, and I'm going to call this like Notion DB daily export. You can name the import page all you want. We don't need to type the rest of the columns because when we set up the scheduled fetch of this database, every day, there's some magic that'll happen and it'll make all the other column names for us. So this is just a really quick way to set up. So click next. You can send the data where you want, right? So each row will be interpreted for us. We're gonna email the file. You can go to FTP. You can go to Google Drive. You can go to Google Sheets, wherever you really want to send it to. Let's do email. So I'm going to enter my email. I always like to set it up with email first just to make sure I get the data out I want. And then you can always change this to go to FTP or something like that. You can put up the naming convention of the file you want. We have some dynamic syntax to put like the day in it if you want. So save that. Cool. So now if you dragged, the Notion export of the CSV here, it would actually parse it and then send yourself an email in this case. But we want to schedule getting that. So go up here to the top and we'll go to scheduled fetch. We're going to say every 24 hours. You can different options and you can set when you do that. Click on Notion, go to Notion, and if you haven't connected Notion, it'll prompt you to connect Notion here and you'll have to come back. So give all the permissions to EasyCSV to grab it. Then you'll just search for the database name. Cool, we'll save that. Cool, so now this fetcher is on. So every 24 hours, it's gonna grab that database and work the import flow of what you just set up. So in our case, it'll grab the database for every row, it'll make a CSV file and email it to us. Now, like I said, it did some magic for us to add all the extra columns. So if you go to the import flow, either from there or if you're on the import page, you go to import flow. This top area is how EasyCSV can get files. In our case, we're just going to get it from Notion on the schedule. This is the fetcher the schedule fetcher we just set up. The middle is kind of your configuration where these are the columns you've told EasyCSV to care about. You see that setting up the fetcher, put all the other column names in, right? Like we didn't type tags or number of cookies. That just happened when we set up the fetcher. So that's kind of nice. Any columns that aren't listed here, EasyCSV will ignore. So if you want to delete, last edited at, then EasyCSV won't grab that column. If you need to use these columns but you don't want them in a final file, you can just turn them off. Like I'm going to turn off name and I'll show you how I'm going to rename that column in the final file. So this means it won't be sent to the final destination. So if you go back to the import flow, you can filter out data. So maybe you don't want some rows. Like maybe you only want the row for Eagle Bakery because this is a database of orders and you want to send Eagle Bakery their orders for the day. So you say name must contain Eagle Bakery, and it'll drop every row unless name is Eagle Bakery. So you could set up different import flows for like different things here. So that's a way to filter out rows you don't want. Virtual fields is a way to combine fields or massage fields that don't exist in the source but you want sent in the final. I'll show you how to do that in 1 second. But then the bottom is the destination. So maybe you're sending Google Drive or Dropbox or FTP, in our case, email. These are all the options are there. You'll see this is the file that will end up being created. You can resort these columns if you want. In our case, we got rid of name, right? We're not sending name, but we want to send another column and we need to name it bakery name, but we need to use the value of the name column. And so we just made a virtual field where the column name will be bakery name, but it'll use the value of name from Notion. And you'll see down here that was added all the way down here. We're going to drag it back to the front. Cool. So now bakery name will be the first one. That's a virtual field, and it'll be created. So now what we can do is every 24 hours it's going to fetch that database, but we can do a test. We can do a force fetch. So what that does is it adds it to a queue, and that went very fast. And you can refresh here, and you'll get a log every day of what happened, if it was successful or not. And so the fetch was successful. And if you go back to your import page at the bottom, it'll show you was the actual import flow successful, because the fetch sends it to your import flow. In case it was, this would be the email I would have gotten. It has the CSV attached. If it was FTP, it would have just pushed the file to FTP or Google Drive. And you'll see here it flattened your database, right? So like a person column just became the name of the person. Cool, and that's it. You'll be scheduling exports for Notion in 3 minutes. Cool. If you need any help or the data looks weird, reach out to EasyCSV support via chat or email, and we're happy to help. Thanks.